Hi there, Chris here again, and day 4 of our lockdown, which has been extended here in New Zealand. And I thought I'd do something quite different today. So I've got no notes. This was an idea that came to me this morning because I teach a bunch of younger children some public speaking stuff. So I'm doing summer camp for some children in Canada, and we had a class, and they're 8 to 10 years old. That's about the age range. And I was explaining that what you want to do to keep the attention of people when you are speaking is to delight them. I was like, you just need to delight them. And everybody should have the opportunity to teach something they feel they're expert in to children the age of 8 to 10, because they will question every assumption you have. They will ask for details that you've never really explored. And this was one of those sorts of moments. Can you please define delighted or delight? And I had to stop and think, because I know what delight is. I've used that word for decades, delight. But I had to stop and think about it. Like, how would I define delight? Now, delighted to me is a spark of joy, a moment of absolute happiness, sort of almost ecstatic, a bit of excitement, a bit of happiness, a bit of joy, all in one thing. But it's fleeting. It's a short thing. It doesn't go on and on. It's just there for a moment. Like, you can be morose or upset for a long period of time. You can be bemused or amused for a long period of time. But to me, delighted is just for that moment. It's a delightful moment. And that's what we want to do when we're speaking. When you're on stage, be it a TEDx event or a wedding that you're doing a speech at, or anything, any sort of stage, even a business stage in a very serious conference, what you want to do is delight your audience. You want to give them those little moments, those little sparks of joy. But where do those sparks of joy come from? What is that spark of joy? For me, it's like a joke. So a joke has a setup, and then the connection is made, the punchline, the connection is made. The setup sort of gives a story of the world. It lays it out in front of you and says, this is what it looks like. And then the punchline turns it upside down and you see a whole different terrain. In a moment, your understanding of what was happening flips. Now, that is what our brains love. Our brains love solving puzzles, and our brains love that moment of clarity when we see something one way and the paradigm shift happens and we see it suddenly another way. And we can never look at that thing quite the same way again. That's what you want to do with your talk, whether it's a passion project and an art, or whether it's a really important scientific breakthrough, or whether it's just a great story that you want to share with somebody and have them remember, and remember the feeling that you create in that story. And you do that through creating these moments of delight. Now, that's the thing. Delight isn't one big moment. You can't have a long talk and have one big flip the switch and there's your delightful moment. You have to have a series of moments of delight. So that's a tall order. It might sound like it, but you'd be surprised. Often when we're having a few drinks or whatever, relaxing with our friends and telling stories, we do that almost unconsciously. We go through a series of delights. And in conversation, that happens because somebody will say something and you'll build on what they say with what you say. And then somebody else will build on what you say with something else. And it becomes an in-joke because only the few people that are there know how this random sort of weird thing came to be. And that's what you want to do with your audience. You want to take them on that journey. Yes, you're the one supplying all the pieces that create this delight, but it's their mental images, it's their synapses, it's their bringing that image to life in their minds that makes them feel and makes them delighted. Anyway, that was a bit deep, I guess, and I don't want to be daunting anyone, but that's the sort of thing I think you want to do with your talk. You want to make those moments where people think one thing's happening and you pull the metaphorical rug out from underneath them and suddenly they're in the air and they realize they can fly. And it's just a whole new experience for them. So see how you can put those in your talk. Some are small, some are large, and create that image in their mind and let them solve those puzzles and feel the joy of solving a puzzle and seeing the world in a different way. If you can do that, your talks are going to be amazing. Anyway, that's all I'm going to share for you today. I'm not sure what I'm going to do tomorrow. I've decided I'm not going to pre-script these things. I'm just going to go with whatever. But if there is something you want to know about speaking on stage, whether it's a TEDx stage or whether it's a conference stage or, as I said, speaking at a wedding or something like that, let me know. Throw something in the comments below. Ask any questions. I'm happy to answer it, and that might give me a theme for my next video. So I will leave you with that and catch you tomorrow. Cheers.